in the bunker. All right, so more trauma. They walk through the forest. Sarah's expressing concerns about the fact that producers have been screaming at her for a couple days that she needs to cry on camera about her father's ALS. Her and Matt have a very forced conversation / interrogation around a fire pit. The line of questioning is a little like this. So how does your family feel about this? Answer provided. And he says, you talked about your mom. What does your dad have? What? I mean, how does your dad feel about this? Hi, hello, and welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Another Bachelor Podcast. My name is Dylan. Saddled up next to you, my buddy, real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Pat, producer podcast over there behind my glasses.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
What's up, Pat? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Were you asking me?
I was not. I was asking the audience, a growing audience, an ever-growing audience. Have you seen the numbers?
Yeah, the numbers are going up, and then I'm sure that leads you into some public service announcements because
Great Sagooey Dill.
With a growing of the audience grows our opportunity to pressure them into paying us money.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, so I have seen the numbers grow. Thank you. I think it's because Matt is a pretty interesting bachelor, and these girls are just amazing this season.
What do you mean?
Well, they're fun to watch.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so anyway, so the number's up. So a lot of you new people probably don't know that you can pay us and get some extra content, okay?
Yeah.
So head
what
on
a novel idea.
Well, we got a bunch of shows over there. People that already signed up and listened, they're like, all right, shut up. But you know what? You shut up. We did Love is Blind Season 1, and people loved it. It's some of our best work. That's over there.
I missed that show.
We do basically like a gossip show, PMZ. You're going to love that. We do APS.
That's where Pat bitches about celebrity.
Yeah, and the hypocrisy of celebrity. That's right. And then we also do a bunch of below deck stuff. It's just fun, okay? Pay us $5. Patreon.com/Another Podcast Network. Our next goal is 600 patrons.
Yeah, and like you can, if you're strapped for cash, we have a ton of ways you can get the money. They range from going into a quarry, picking up a rock, breaking into a circuit city, which there are no locations of, stealing merchandise from them and selling it on the black market, or stealing liquor from a convenience store.
No, not stealing.
Selling it to children.
No, call Budweiser and then tell them you choked on a piece of barley.
All right.
They'll send you, literally a Budweiser truck will drop off a case of Budweiser.
Yeah.
Go in front of a store or playground or something like that.
Find the children.
Sell it to kids.
Yeah.
And then, obviously you'll lower the price.
Sure, so there's lots of pragmatic ways you can get a hold to this.
I take umbrage with just one thing that Pat said, and that's I don't give a shit about 600. Let's go to 1,000.
Boom.
Let's go. We're gonna do Love Is Blind. I want to talk to these guys. I want to talk to these guys about doing Bachelor Pad.
Oh,
how's that talk? How's that
Bachelor Pad sounds amazing.
How's that hit the ear, audience?
All right, enough about us. We got to get into the show.
Right.
Got to get into a fan favorite segment that's called General Thoughts. That's where we speak about our thoughts generally on the episode for new listeners. It's a little bit of a heady bit, so I just wanted to kind of get ahead of it, explain it away. Nick, why don't you go first?
First observation, and this is a pretty specific thought I'm going to say just right, my general thoughts.
Yeah.
I can't tell any of these girls apart if I was blind. They all...
What?
They sound exactly the same. They're all talking about like the vibes.
Would the blindness help you, or
that would hurt me
okay.
because if I was blind, I couldn't tell them apart. But I still would be able to if I was. How did you not get that?
I don't know if it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me. But go ahead. These are your general thoughts. Sorry to interrupt.
It was an entertaining episode, even though it was somewhat one note. Victoria is got to be a producer plant. Or she has to be 5150 because this woman is crazy, but it's fun, especially when she's attacking young fawns like Marilyn.
Yeah.
80 knots.
Yeah, I'm going to go next if you don't mind. Yeah, echoing Nick's thoughts, I'm bored with Victoria, just like immediately bored with Victoria.
Not exactly my thoughts. Weird echo chamber.
Much like Claire saying, I never thought I'd have to say this again. And then she doesn't say her famous line, and then she says her famous line. Here is where I'll echo Nick's thoughts. This evening will look like this. We'll talk about the show, then we'll say, meanwhile, Victoria is attacking the women at the house. We'll get back to the show. Then we'll say, meanwhile, Victoria is attacking people at the house. It'll go like that throughout the entire evening. I give it 4 pots.
Okay. I like this season. We're only on the 2nd episode. I feel like I'm still getting to know everybody. You know what I'm saying? It is already falling into the typical tropes. Obviously, there's a structure to the show. When he goes on dates, they got to share pain. It's coming out. This is a very, very deep pain.
Yeah.
I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Episode 2.
The girls are very fun, in my opinion. I will say this about Matt. He's a very likable guy. I like him a lot. I don't think he's being unique here. And he's not that impressive of a guy. I was expecting a little bit more, I don't know.
Personality?
Yeah.
Charisma?
Yeah, it's kind of boring. It's
intellect?
kind of dull. I didn't say intellect.
All right.
It's kind of dull.
Did you give your nods?
50.
I did like what he said about, like, we're still getting to know everybody. It's like the 2nd day of school. The first one, I said I hate. Getting your syllabus, fucking going through the motions. 2nd day of school, you're like, man, I kind of like that person. You run to them, that's what you see, but you don't. You're uncomfortable. Next episode, we know these women. We're gonna really fucking dive in.
Tonight's episode is like the antsy, like, I want to fill this binder up. I got all these dividers. I want to put some shit in this binder.
Hey, one last note on Matt, because I don't want people to think I don't like this guy. He is a refreshing upgrade from the little weasels we've had in past seasons, especially recent ones. Little Peter.
Yeah, puffy little penis Peter eater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Colton. How sad a sack was he?
Yeah.
Was Ari before him?
Colton is a closeted gay psychopath stalker.
Well, that's what I mean. I was trying
sad
to.
sack.
Pretty entertaining.
I was trying to be nice.
All right. Yeah, I was pretty heavy-handed with my hatred of Matt last week. I think he's opening up. I think he'll be a milquetoasty good bachelor.
Yeah, it's about the girls.
All right, so we begin with some light cardio and the obligatory candid shower scene.
What was this, a fucking Peloton commercial?
Yeah,
Jesus
there are no
Christ.
black people in Peloton commercials. Well, they're kind of transitioning over to diversity, but the head of their company did say that I have no interest in putting minorities in my commercials. That's not a joke.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
When you're good, man, you can just keep selling those bikes. It's like an NFL player. He's like, smacking his wife around.
Sure, yeah. Well, they go, you're under a lot of pressure for the racist comments you made, and he said, "Hold my beer, a pandemic's coming. Gyms are not going to exist anymore."
He said that.
Yeah.
And proof in the pudding that it doesn't matter what he said. Our entire reason for having a Patreon is to get Patrick's wife, who is black, a Peloton.
Oh, yeah. I got to remind the audience of that. So whenever I say something really inappropriate, they can't hold me to it.
I had this movement that I wanted to, or this social media graphic that I wanted to make, and it was like, join the movement, get Pat's wife a Peloton. And it's been on my to-do list for literally since the last time we talked about that. 6 months.
It's tough to check off those things that aren't really important.
That one I feel like is pivotal and would have changed
I
the course of this network.
All right, so we get some wonderful views of Namacolin. Stunning golf course.
Oh, it's beautiful. Just be there in the fucking winter. One of the highest suicide rates on the East Coast.
Right now, you're bumming me out. The colors of fall are welcoming you into 18 holes. No Korean women with umbrellas on a 72-degree day for some reason.
Those leaves changing over are also a reminder to a lot of people in a dark place that winter is coming.
All right, looks like heaven to me. We usually lambast overcooked excitement for hotels on this show. Stop getting so stoked. You're at a motel in Goleta. There's nothing exciting about this. But this time, I get it. This place is magical.
What is it for? What was the original purpose of this? Like, why?
What do you mean?
Who lived here? What is this? It's always been to be rented out?
No. It was the Beast.
The devil?
No, Mr. Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
It's Mr. Beast's house.
Is that right? Don't fuck with me. It's
what
too
do you
late.
Mean, what do you mean, don't fuck with you? Do you mean that I almost tempted you into believing that a cartoon...
You were keeping it so close to the vest and you said it so knowingly. I would consider it fucking with me. I was like, do I not know
now,
this
at this
beast
point,
from Pennsylvania?
What they looked at is they said, hey, look, we got $14,000 to spend on Claire's season. Right?
6.
Maybe 6. Hey, Matt's coming down the pike. We need to really throw some money at this. Right. And there's nothing better than going from a motel in the desert to a fucking palatial mansion with dozens of acres to have fun on.
And evidently a suicide forest. Evidently. No, but I love the
We
budget.
should go there and film the bodies.
I love the yeah, dude, that'd be so tight. Shaka, fucking hate those guys. So, anyways, the budget meetings on Claire's season. Can we do a carnival outside? What are you talking about, a carnival? Like, we'll just get like milk bottles and they'll like throw rings to them. How much is that gonna cost? $36. Get it down to 30. Okay. Some bits are just too.
No,
some bits just send us into a shocked silence. They're so funny.
I thought that's what I wanted to help you out.
All right, so shall we get to shitface walking?
Yeah, he fucking shows up.
He's in a creepy garment, getting whiffs of Crispin Glover in the jacket. He asks, "Where's my girl Abigail?" Easy. He reminds all the girls that she got the first impression rose. He is interrupted by Victoria, who says that she got the first kiss too. Victoria, it's 8 a.m. Are you drunk again? What's going on?
I think this is called Still Drunk.
The woman with the Lady and the Tramp bit got the first kiss. I don't remember her name because, as we mentioned last week, there are far too many people on this show.
That's my problem.
So many of them, in fact, that some of them will be spending zero time with Matt. ABC, why'd you do this?
Just to make a couple women feel really bad about
How
themselves.
come you did this?
It could be that, but this could just be some junior producer that got promoted, and they're like, more is better.
Yeah, I got an idea.
More.
I actually, that is my philosophy with these women. Like, tough shit. If you can't get camera time, I'll put 100 of you Royal Rumble style, and I want to see which one is Victoria. We found a Victoria.
Because
we had 32.
Let's make this season kind of remind people of a ball pit. But the balls are women.
No, all right, back to the production meeting before this season started.
Yeah.
Hey, look, everybody, we were happy to welcome to the team. We have Jonathan. Jonathan helmed just a groundbreaking TV series, Flavor of Love, for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
He's going to be in charge of putting together all the little fun stuff they do all day.
Yeah.
Because that was just as classless
This
as
did
what
give
took
me
place.
vibes of Flavor of Love, where Victoria, like, I'll get to it later, but it's almost
Shit on the floor.
It's almost too sad to see on TV. She did not shit on the floor, and that makes me very upset because it reminded me that Pat's entire pitch for Flavor of Love was somebody shits on the floor, and that didn't happen the first season. It happens the second season. Unfortunately, we're not going to watch the second season, nor a minute of any other episode of the Flavor series or franchise. Fuck you, Pat.
There is like a Nelson Mandela effect going on with this woman taking a dookie on the floor because I seem to remember it myself.
It happened. He's wrong.
Oh, I wanted to talk about your analogy with the ball pit.
Yeah.
You tagged it with, and the balls are women.
Yeah.
Is that where you were going originally? Because I thought just a ball pit with a bunch of children like going to war and fighting.
No.
That is what the women. I was like, it's perfect already, and then you're like, the women.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of such a high concentration of women, it looked like a ball pit. But anyways, so this week we're
You
going to
should
get.
see children attack each other in a ball pit.
Hey, Dylan, I know I'm completely guilty and we're all to blame for this. Can we get to minute 2 of this show?
100%.
Is it minute 2?
I literally have a line that's like, let's get to minute 5 because I have a page of notes before we get there. 3 dates, 1 group date, 2 one-on-ones. Kayla says that if she doesn't get to spend time with them, she'll be thinking, what if? And that will kill her. Jesus.
I'm so glad you noted that. This woman said she was going to kill herself if this didn't happen.
Dylan,
man.
I don't want to step on you, but Chelsea, the
I thought you were going to say, can we get to minute 6?
No. Chelsea, the model, reads what's going to happen on the date with Bree.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Apparently, the communication manager from San Francisco will be flying to Vegas. They will see a private performance of Justin Bieber. I'm sorry. They're going to get on 4-wheelers and drive around in front of the hotel while a bunch of catty judge.
I thought that this was a fine date.
Ugh.
I thought that this was a fine date. They'll be going on an adventurous ATV excursion. Now, these are very dangerous machines. One of these infamously almost took the life of the zombie Ozzy Osbourne, and your guy's friend Dill had a bit of a scare with one just a few weeks ago, actually, on New Year's.
Is that right?
Yeah, I know we're trying to
acid.
get into minute 7, but I wasn't on mushrooms when this happened, but my wife and I were zipping up the hills of my friend's parents' ranch, excuse me. We paused to give hand signals and talk about how we were going to attack the mountain, whatnot, in a little in a little mulch. And Dilly hit the throttle a little too hard, sent the fucking thing up into a wheelie. I fell off the back. Thing starts falling up and over. Mm-hmm. I had to put my feet up to stop it. I rolled out of the way like I was in Mission Impossible. It was harrowing. It stayed upright. The bumper kind of caught it. But it was pretty scary, and then I needed to negotiate like a choke on the engine. I think me flooding it hurt it more than the actual wheelie, but we got to get to minute 7.
Nick, can you grasp the concept of you and I being given the news that Dylan was killed in a 4-wheeler accident?
Wait, what?
I just couldn't believe it.
I'd
have to see the body for myself.
I'd be like, "You're lying. You lied.
Yeah.
You lied." And then I'd hug who told me.
Yeah. You sounded like you turned into a guy who loves cannolis.
You lied. You lied.
All right. No, I mean, it's like me and knives. I get very nervous around these things because I've flipped so many golf carts and so many ATVs. Like, it's just, I get a little uneasy.
I understand that we have to get to minute 7. I do.
Yeah.
Right.
But I also died in an ATV accident. Almost died in an ATV
Oh, I was going to say, that's quite an M. Night Shyamalan type twist.
The whole time.
Apparition Davis.
No, I almost died in an ATV accident. I was in 7th grade. My grandma got a boyfriend. She reconnected with a man she dated 30 years prior. His name was Delbert Kell. He lived in Conrad, Iowa.
Reminds me of the hour-and-a-half length documentary from Nathan Fielder, Finding Francis.
It honestly
Say that twice.
I've said that to people, that my grandma's love story with Delbert Kell, Del Kell, was similar to Finding Francis, because it was. She went down there with a girlfriend. They just knocked on his door and she found him.
That is so cute.
And they dated for like 10 years. Del Kell was a great guy. So I'm down there, 7th grade. We go down to Conrad, Iowa.
We have to get on the show.
With my grandma's boyfriend, Del Kell. He has an ATV. I'm riding on the streets of Iowa. They have like all these ditches, but then
beautiful state.
You get to like a cross street or whatever, and there's like the big dip, and I'd go off from like jumps as a young child. One time I veered onto the road and literally like was going at a car. Didn't die though. Brought it into the ditch. Chilled out. Went in, hooked up my PlayStation, and had a nice weekend. Cody was there, my dog.
He died later though, right?
As they do.
Not the dog, the old man.
Oh, Del Kell also dead.
Oh.
Okay, so Victoria's a fucking lunatic. To quote Jasenia, she's lashing out. They're talking about being mindful of their time with The Bachelor and being happy for Brie when Victoria says, I didn't speak to her, so I don't know about your guys' little friendships. Where's the vodka?
I had a Queen Victoria at a 6.5, and I believe most circles would consider that. Dropped a complete point for me for that poor attitude.
Oh, thank God you're not judging a competition.
An extremely, extremely generous census 6.5.
Okay, Jesus Christ. Leave 5 stars in the reviews if you like this show. Nick's showing me a picture of him and Cody on an ATV.
Hey, put it on Facebook.
Yeah, put that dog's life at risk. We'll talk about throwing people on the back of ATVs in 1 second. So, back to the date. Matt was giving that pony a little too much gas. I could see him losing control on the trail. Not only did he not rein it in, he told Brie to get on the back. He demands that she say she trusts him, and then he proceeds to do donuts in mud until he flips the all-terrain vehicle. He's a madman with wanton disregard for the safety of himself and others. He's unfit for this station.
This is JFK Jr. behavior. Putting that wife of his and her sister on a plane and flying with not qualified to be handling that kind of machinery. It's goddamn dangerous.
Yeah.
And I also bring up this point. When it tips over, and Brie, I believe, is injured, she takes it like a champ. This is the difference between a first date where you're trying to impress a person in 5 years of a relationship. First date, the girl's really into you.
If you could just pause for 1 second, because I'm sure people are wondering if we're recording on a fucking military base. But no, I mean, the entire United States is about to turn into a military base. That is a hibachi. What do you call them?
A telehook?
No,
Apache.
Apache helicopter above us. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Back to me points.
Yeah.
Bree takes this like a champ. She doesn't complain about it. Oh, it's okay. They hug. Let me tell you something. Let's if this happened 5-year relationship with my wife. What's up, you fucking asshole? You almost killed me. She probably smacked me in the fucking head.
I know. If I did this to my wife, she'd lose her mind. We wouldn't speak the entire night. She's like, I've told you that you're too reckless.
How am I ever supposed to feel safe with you?
But that doesn't happen here.
No, it does not. They not only are fine, they take a little break and go to the jacuzzi. And for some reason, Matt begins chopping wood. Was it to fuel the jacuzzi?
I believe
Yes.
so.
Is that why?
It was a wood powered hot tub.
Got it.
I thought it was actually beautiful production by The Bachelor here. So first they did the ATVs. She said she's never done anything like that before. I've said many times, fear, nature's most powerful aphrodisiac. But what I never knew was that number 2 is Matt James chopping wood with his shirt off.
Yeah.
I mean, cool me down. Jesus. Right, fellas?
Oh, yeah.
No, so we get a little 80s porn moment here. That's
what are you,
Nick is...
racist? You've gone on about Colton and other...
I don't like overly ripped men. I like toned men.
Peter.
Yes. Oh, my God, yes.
Should I be concerned? My wife turned to me last night while we were watching this, and I was just sitting there, and she goes, how does he get those abs? I was like,
All right, let's talk about this. So, like I said, 80s porn, it's hilarious, and I want to be there while they're all filming this and ask them if they're feeling fulfilled in their professions. This is like fucking film. You could make a Christopher Guest movie about the filming of this scene or the filming of the show. But Bree does not strike me as the kind of woman who is into this kind of display. Now, it doesn't ever hurt to be cut up from the flow up. You know, I mean, he's cut like a new thing of Gillette that you pull out a piece of paper and then you go to the cashier and you give it to him and then they unlock. He's cut up like that.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't hurt. But also, there are sane women out there who are like, hey, why are you in the gym 2.5 hours a day and weighing out chicken breast at night?
well, not only that, but hey, all right, we're ready to shoot. Let's get the hot tub. Bree, get in the hot tub. And then Matt is over in the corner doing fucking sit-ups.
Yeah.
If you don't think that's happening,
right.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get my V more pronounced for you.
Hey, can I know we're going to probably break down their conversation in this hot tub, but let me just start this out by what Bree said. She admits that dying together would bring them closer. That is said with no irony.
This is said twice this evening.
It is an insane thought, and I was thinking while I heard her say this, boy, I miss being young and dating so I could say incoherent things like this and it come off as romantic.
Yeah. Can you imagine turning to someone you've never met before, really, and you don't know, and saying, if we died together, that would make... What? Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking...
You're taking crazy pills?
Are you taking loony pills? Speaking of loony pills, we're going to get our first. Meanwhile, back to Victoria.
Meanwhile.
She is...
Yeah.
kind of almost screaming at one of the producers about how the other girls are fucking losers. She's super evolved. All right, night date.
Night date.
Well, I don't really want to talk about anything they say in the jacuzzi, given that we're in minute 11 of the show.
Right.
All right, so night date, say it again.
Night date.
Trauma quotient needs to be met because this is the modern incarnation of this show. I don't know what year this started, but some producer was like, I have an idea. Let's make them unnaturally unveil their deepest, darkest secrets and most painful memories on their first date with someone they don't know. I don't know when this started, but it's bizarre.
Hey, before we break down the nitty-gritty of their conversation, I'm going to say something that might offend some new listeners. Obviously, if you know good old Patty, this won't get you upset. But Bree is awesome. That's my opinion. She's a very nice gal. I would have liked her to do a little bit more with her hair on the date tonight, but nobody's perfect.
Okay, Timmy G. Tim Gunn.
Tim Gunn.
Yeah.
Tim Gunn
He's
ass.
more about like fashion. No, I'm not.
You Tim Gunn ass.
All right, so so again, trauma quotient needs to be met. There's a couple barrels that are pointed at this table. I think one's in the hand of a mouse, and the rest are in unwilling and like tearful people who are forced to do this. Yeah. But she doesn't have anything as concrete as bulimia and suicide, but she gives it a good go. She says that her mother had her when she was 13 or 14. She doesn't have a great relationship with her father, and the confusing thing to me was this fucking jag she was on about how her mom started a new family and she lost her home and her mother. It was very forced and confusing, and it didn't make any fucking sense.
Not at all. And I know I'm going to set this because we have a lot of single mothers out there that love this podcast. And anytime I comment on single motherhood, despite the fact that I was brought up by a single mother, they don't like me to talk about it in a derogatory way. I will say,
what was that word?
Derogatory?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Matt also admits that dad checked out and took off, and he was raised by a single mother. So they bond over pain.
Yes.
I don't think that's a good foundation to build upon.
You don't think so?
No, never. Not this early. Mainly because these people are still young, and what you don't know about being young and having kind of a painful childhood.
You haven't gotten hit with the darkness quite yet?
You haven't even touched the surface or scratched surface of this. No. This will start fueling some serious pain and behaviors well into your 30s.
And what years were you taking too many drugs and drinking too much?
I'd say late 20s, right around now, and well into the mid 30s before I started fixing myself a little bit. But with men, and again, hey, single moms out there, please just let me talk. I became a womanizer. I think Matt will, if he's not already, be a womanizer. I'm not saying we're similar souls, but generally when you're brought up by a single woman, a man's not, if the father's in there, he's teaching you how to treat a lady.
Well, you didn't have Christ who saves.
I didn't. Oh, that's true. Right. That is something that's helping him. Bree seems like a lovely girl, but I have to say, and she is, she's a very impressive young lady, but I'm not sure I'm buying this completely stable kind of veneer that she's portraying herself as
Nor am I. And to just one last thing on single motherhood, so we're not slaughtered. You guys are badasses because it's a very, very difficult thing to do. I'm so annoyed by children at this stage.
Yeah, I had my little toddler out here on Saturday.
Yeah,
you couldn't even look at the thing.
I mean, she's cute, but like the sound of them crying over nothing, like it's just they can't express themselves, so they wail. It's so annoying.
Dylan, that's the only way to express themselves. How do they let you know if they want something? They can't say, "Hey, give me some fucking milk." They go, "Wah!"
I know. That's why I don't fraternize with them.
Oh.
Dylan looks at it all wrong. He's like, "Oh, they can't express to me what they want." No, you cannot speak their language. You are the one deficient. You have to learn to communicate with them, and they're so pure.
Mm-hmm. As the driven snow. That's what's wonderful about them.
And I wanted to say about Bree, I feel like you guys are burying the lead. She revealed her mother to be young enough to be on this show, 38 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Fun fact, did the math. Bree's 25. Bree's mom, younger than Claire.
We should have had her on that this season.
Hits keep coming, don't they?
Claire, somewhere like, what the fuck? I know, unnecessary, but I had to do it for you.
Sorry, Claire. All right, so in summation, this girl has fucking got it. I ship them. They have a tremendous amount in common and are both beautiful enough to be paired up in nature. It makes sense.
It does. Oh, God. And they get the fireworks, and it's the first date. And I will say I've done some calculations. Whoever gets the first date generally is going to be in the top 3
First
hometowns.
impression, Rose, is a pretty good indicator, too. But before we move on, Matt gives a toast. Fine toast. Don't care.
Me neither.
What I did notice was that the glassware throughout the entire evening is disgusting. Opaque navy blue cups. The fuck? Jesus Christ.
I think it's to hide who's getting fucked up and who's not.
All right, back to the house. Victoria is still talking. She's letting the rest of the girls know that she is looking forward to a one-on-one. Nick, laugh.
That is never happening.
A date card does get dropped, though, and in a Usual Suspects type twist, Victoria does get the one-on-one. Kidding. Nick, laugh.
Hey, let me remind the audience, we didn't get a rose ceremony, or we did, but it was ruined by a fainted girl, which, by the way, was
a fainting girl.
A fainting girl at the top of the show, because that's their new thing now. They got to tease.
Well,
They've been listening to us.
I don't think that you could handle another roll call, because the first one this evening is 18 women deep. This envelope had 14 cards in it.
I'll give it a shot. You want a roll call? Who's going on the date?
Yeah,
the group
baby.
date? Here's a roll call. Hit the music. Okay, here we go. I still don't know the girls that well, but I'll do my best. Chelsea, the model, in quotes. Serena P, Abigail, my top three. Sydney, Bad Weave. Ileana, I'm not sure who you are yet. Kristen, I'm sorry. Lauren is the one with the bad wig. Jacinia, I hate your mother for the way that she spelled your name. That's obnoxious. Serena, she's the only Asian. Kit, the white privileged girl. Kylie, the butterface that came in the lingerie. She's got a great body. Also, she looks like she just got out of prison. Look at her on the couch. Katie, she's the vibrator girl. MJ, the hairstylist who obviously, if you can't teach. Glenn Close from Fatal Attraction wants her hair back. Mari, hot Latina. Piper, obnoxious name of her spelling too. I'll forgive your mother, you're a piece of ass. Rachel looks like Mila Kunis. Queen Victoria.
I agree. Rachel does look like Mila Kunis.
Okay,
Thanks.
a lot of things that I want to go over. My favorite part of the roll call is when you refer to one of the women as someone you haven't gotten to know yet.
Ileana.
And I think that is so important, that you're open to kind of growing with her. You know what I mean?
Take notes, Victoria.
But also all that like disgusting, like scumbaggery kind of misogynistic shit that you said. That was funny too. So anyways, all right, let's move on.
Bad Weave? I don't know. I thought it was weak. 12 pots. There were no zingers. Come on. Where are the bullets, Pat? Jesus.
Who's the one? Yeah, where are the bullets? Where are the bullets? He goes, model. Yikes. Okay.
Model quotes.
Where the one with who looks like she got out of penitentiary?
Yes.
Who is she?
That is Kylie.
Kylie. Don't say. Just shut up.
Okay, that was one.
Okay.
That was one.
I loved when we were talking about Isaac's brother, who should be the next Bachelor.
Right.
Fits the quota, black guy, and Filipino.
Gabriel.
Gabriel. We were talking about how, like prison jargon, like I'm blessed for tomorrow, stuff like that. She probably speaks like that. All right. Anyways.
Only 2 days. Day you go in, day you come out.
All right. So, big mistake on the producer's part. I think that they should have given Victoria 0 date time.
Yep.
And watched what happened to see if she fought anybody.
Oh, how about just leave her in the house the entire process and let her stay.
It could be an alternate storyline that will. Okay, get this. Another pitch meeting, right?
Okay.
The show happens alongside her sequestered in a Jack Nicholson and the Shining type of devolving into madness. Okay, she automatically books her way to fantasy suites. We trap him in a room with her. See what happens.
Does she have an axe?
No, just nails. Hasn't cut him in a while.
All Marilyn and no dates make Victoria couldn't close her out.
All right, so she tells the girls not to be negative, and then we head back to the night date. Bree gets the rose. He overwhelms her with his lips, and then the fireworks. All right, back to the house.
Back to the house.
I don't know if Victoria is stupid or mentally handicapped, but like I said, I think that this could be a case of far too sad to be on television. I think she needs a soft room, and I think that her parents need a talking to.
Oh, yeah.
You can't unleash people like this on the world.
You know, one of the problems is her parents were probably too involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the exact opposite of result when you show a child love.
She seems like a candidate or some possible former alum of Super Sweet 16.
Yeah.
She that's why she's always been fed everything, and it was going well. But once you get exposed on television, I don't think she's gonna like the backlash she receives.
Or she may love it.
Who
It's
knows?
attention.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Sure.
so next day,
Next day.
day date.
Day date.
I was thrilled to see famed creative director Franco Lacosta. His command over his camera, the tool of his craft, is a little concerning. But you can't question a master's methods. You know what I
I
mean?
can. How many times has this guy been resuscitated in a fucking hotel room high on horse tranking to male prostitutes?
What's up?
I get a weird vibe from this guy. Seems a little cranky.
That's a character you have. It's negligent mother who smokes too much.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Or I'm running out of thoughts as I talk.
This was poor hosting on me. We've got a bunch of the girls. When I say a bunch, I mean all of them, all 18, dressed in wedding dresses.
Only in COVID times would 18 women tolerate this. All 18 of you are going to be in wedding dresses.
Well, it's just like, why do we do this every season? We do a mock wedding. I mean, it's just
photo shoot. Yeah,
it's a date every say. It's the dating back to Vile when Corinne took her breasts out in that pool. They were doing the same thing.
You're right. Forgive me.
It's a reminder of why we're here, Dylan, to find true love.
All right, let's talk about Victoria.
She asked Matt if they can make out. He says, okay, but I really don't want to. It'd be rude, I guess, if I said no.
And this was him up until now. He seemingly made all the right choices, but this was poor decision making to make out with this psychopath in front of the rest of the girls. It makes you look weak. It's a symptom of you trying to appease everyone, and
really yucky stuff.
It showed the chink in his armor.
As we all know, you try to please everybody, you please no one.
Do we?
Yeah, you please no one.
Okay. So, Shitface walks out, says, "Get ready, you ladies are about to physically assault one another in the forest." All right.
Capture the flag. You said it. I don't care that we're at Chateau Nomenclature, like adult summer camp. We're riding ATVs. We're playing Capture the Flag.
Yeah. It's a lot more fun than sweating in Palm Springs and going to Venice Beach came to the hotel. You're looking at sunglasses racks and breaking open piñatas. Anyways, Capture the Flag mixed with paint tag. Again, this is the kind of date where if Nick were in it, I would be worried about the safety of some of these women.
I've long suffered from TGTS, take gym too seriously, and this would fall under that umbrella. I would win. I would attack, I would strategize, and I would win.
By the way, I thought the ambiguousness of the rules here were quite insulting and possibly dangerous to some of the girls who were wearing heels in the forest, by the way. Just to sum it up, because again, I couldn't grasp what was actually taking place.
It looked a lot like Vietnam.
It was like, just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And then Matt, that idiot, and he is an idiot, by the way. They cut to him and he says, as like they have a shot. I know editing can treat people poorly, but one of the girls, I think she had like a water balloon or something. She was within 2 feet. She smashed it on another girl's head. They cut to him and he says, "I love this."
Yeah. One girl gets hit in the face with a purse.
Yes.
Do you have any second thoughts about this? Is it all worth it? Okay, so
Chris Harrison literally said at the beginning, the tagline of UFC 1, the only rule is there are no rules.
Oh, that's nice.
That was a direct quote.
Chris also says the losing team is going to walk back to the hotel and think about who's kissing Matt all night. Hey, dickhead, why are you speaking so aggressively to young women? It's crazy. The producers have harnessed Victoria's psychosis into a team sport. I think it's a great idea. When asked when I asked if Victoria was mentally handicapped or stupid, I think it's a combo of both because she's nuts. But also she said that her team is a bunch of queens and the rest of the other girls are gestures. Now, a couple highlights from the date. Franco takes the place of Fred Willard, picks up binoculars, and sets them down softly as the action is taking place 30 feet away from him. Larry the bodyguard, or whatever the fuck his name is, he's negligent. He's not presiding over this game.
Larry also was featured in Palm Springs with Claire, which is caught later on in a shot. He's actually a grip on production.
Yeah. Well, and he's also a lot like the Joker. He just wants to watch the fucking world burn over a plate of chicken parm. All right, Rachel, the girl who was hit in the heart by the prayer, begins weeping because she gave it her all out there. Not a fan of her. And Katie also cries.
I didn't think it was fair, and please, ladies, don't hold this against me, but I don't think it is fair to have a Ziploc bag over your hair to protect your weave from paint.
Who said that? Who did that?
One of the young black contestants had a Ziploc bag over her hair.
I could have sworn it was Katie. Okay, night date.
This is
Mari's team, who's my favorite one, by the way. So we should say who won.
She's your favorite?
Mari. Oh, I'm in love with her. She said she's 24. I'll take a look at that driver's license.
What are you doing?
I think she's 30. They're lying about her age.
He's making the noises of a boppet.
All right.
Night date.
What shall we hit first? Lauren's up first. I like her. She turns him into a puddle with the God stuff.
Yeah. They bond over the Christian. She's the North Carolina gal that showed up in that pickup truck.
Oh, really?
The non-ratchet lawyer.
Got it. Yeah.
I like Lauren a lot.
Yeah, I like her too.
Quit bonding over where you're from. I mean, that's like I had my buddy Mikey one time. He's like, how did we become such great friends? I said, geography. My parents moved in the same vicinity of you, and we just happened to meet each other. I mean, across town, I'd be friends with Mike Collier, but he lives near Shirley Park.
Yeah. It wasn't divinity or anything like that. It was just,
No, just geography.
Yep, that's it.
I love that you won't pretend in front of him that you got it's more than that.
It was a cold conversation in third grade.
I don't want to alienate any of our listeners. And I think faith is an important part of life. I think too many people are getting away from, congregatory faith, if that's a word. But
politics are the new religion, which I think is even more dangerous.
Yeah, very, very dangerous. But this whole notion of like, you're talking to somebody and you go, I'm going to put God before you every single fucking time. And they're like, I love that. What is this? Like, God, then wife, then children? Like, what the fuck?
It's a little thing called the First Commandment, Dylan.
Yeah.
What is it?
The First Commandment.
What does it say?
Thou shalt not have any gods before me.
Seems pretty selfish. Imagine that 3-year-old asking Daddy, so Daddy, if God was in the house burning in a fire and I was there too, you'd grab God first?
Yeah, God sounds like a narcissist.
Oh, make no mistake, he is vengeful and selfish, but he does rule us.
Yeah.
And if you want eternal life, you will bow down.
You know what we did tonight, and I'm really happy about it? We fulfilled the circle. I'm pretty sure we've now offended everybody we possibly can.
All right, so
I love defending the Catholic Church too. Actually, I think it's a bad rap.
It's a fun challenge, because it's a
Denzel Washington in The Equalizer could do it.
Okay.
Oh dear.
All right, so Victoria says that the rose is significant because it shows that they stood out in a group setting. Thank you very much for that.
I think Matt, in this conversation with her, he's thinking, normally at a club or a bar, I'd get to avoid eye contact with someone like you, but not here.
Yeah.
Not tonight.
It's very tough for me. Super tough. Okay. Jasenia begins weeping about infidelity.
I thought you were singing the Lion King song. Jasenia.
All right. So, I got it. Matt tells Victoria that she is around for a reason. Now, that is meant to put her at ease and reassure her. What he doesn't say, though, is that there are more women than ever before, and this is the second episode. So that's why. That's the reason.
Oh, no, I thought it was just because Matt's not that bright, and he just got done talking to a producer that he was trying to convince, can we get rid of her?
Yeah.
And he said, we're having her here for a reason. She's great TV.
Oh,
Everyone hates her.
Yeah.
And then it just came to his mind when she said, you're here for a reason.
Yeah. I want to get rid of her because her breath smells like old club soda and vodka, and she's nuts. I don't like her. Well, she's here for a reason. Okay, so next day. Sarah one-on-one. They hop aboard a Wright brothers plane and proceed to ruin her hair. It was a terrible date. They can't speak. It's too loud.
Well, yeah. And I hate this too. By the way, I will say this, and I want to go on record. I will not go in the ocean because it's very dangerous there. I will also never go on a airplane with a propeller. I will not be in a plane where 200 hours of online classes will get you behind that steering wheel.
Right.
I mean, one of these goes down every night. I watch the news. Watch your local news.
Dude, There in Virginia, there's on the Blue Ridge Mountain, I guess there are these thermals that come up. Eagles can see them, actually. It's quite fascinating, apex predators. But there are these planes that have no propulsion whatsoever. They just ride the thermals.
Oh,
and you
Jesus.
can go and get in them. And Dad's like, we should go do it sometimes. And I'm like, are you fucking nuts? And then he looks at me and he goes, I'm so sad that you're as Jewish as you are. What happened?
Well, there's a balance still in it.
Yeah.
It sounds like Mario Kart. You just hit like the drift tunnels, you know, you got to jump from each
Yeah.
one. It's a pretty deep cut, but it's very accurate.
No. It's important to hit the drift button at the top of every jump. I will
It
not
is.
lose in that game. I cannot be beat.
You have a Switch?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right, let's do it. So again, there's this mention of dying together. They're all aspiring to the love of Romeo and Juliet and Ava and Hitler.
I mean, there's a middle point there.
Yeah, I've hit that. It's a spectrum.
Yeah.
There's a really funny Family Guy bit where they go, all right, ready? 1, 2. In the bunker. All right, so more trauma. They walk through the forest. Sarah's expressing concerns about the fact that producers have been screaming at her for a couple days that she needs to cry on camera about her father's ALS. Her and Matt have a very forced conversation / interrogation around a fire pit. The line of questioning is a little like this. So how does your family feel about this? Answer provided. And he says, you talked about your mom. What does your dad have? What? I mean, how does your dad feel about this?
There is no doubt in my mind he was fed this information or that there was some information around this subject.
He's talking to her like a criminal who they know he did it.
The first time, like when the day ended, it ended very awkwardly of him like, oh, so we're both like sad to leave home, huh?
Yeah.
And then it was like the very similar line of questioning. He was going after something in particular.
He was digging.
It was disgusting.
Now,
Disgusting.
I don't want to make light of Dad and her caring for him and all jokes aside, but I will make light of her saying multiple times about her moving back home, giving up the TV anchor career, only to leave Dad as a news anchor to be on a TV show minus the career. It's all very confusing.
I'm going to get to that in a minute. I don't want to address that right now. I'll get to it in a minute. Matt expresses some concerns over Sarah not vomiting up her deepest pain to him on their first date. And he says that he's concerned because there are women who are more real. You don't have the right definition of real, Matt. We've said this many times before. You know, like Claire wanted someone to come up to her and tell her that they were admirers of her courage and her, like things that they don't know about her, that they never could because they don't know who she is. This is the opposite of real. The thing that you're attracted to. You should be running for the fucking hills if there are people who are this corruptible by producers. Sarah's a gem.
150%.
Sarah's a gem. So, shall we get to the nighttime?
Let's get to the nighttime.
Again, the glassware is absolutely disgusting. And again, Matt is prying about her father. Now, this is really confusing to me because this seems counterproductive to building a relationship. It's not a date. It's like a sick emotional test. All right, Matt, here you go. My father has a disease where the clarity of your mind exists while your body deteriorates around it. And it's in that state that you live for 2 to 5 years before you die. Do you want to give a toast now? It's been a good date. You want to give a toast now? What is this? What is this trope? It's not fun. It's not entertaining. It's this weird thing that they feel like they have to do.
And what's the alternative? The girl's like, actually, yeah, just like I really love like my 2 sisters and my brother and my mom and dad are great. He's like, get the fuck out of here.
Colton did that to a girl, I think. He was like, so what's going on? And she's like, I'm pretty...
Had a great life. Love mom, love dad, have a dog. Career's going
He's
good.
like, I don't think it's going to work. Why would it not?
Also, side note, I don't want to attack Sarah. Sarah, I don't want you taking up the spot of the Bachelorette. If it's offered, that would completely destroy this story arc of you caring for your family. I mean, to just float away for another 2.5 months. And then we know the stint on Dancing with the Stars. Dad's at home. Hey, What about me over here?
All right. I'll get to this right now then.
I mean, him in that wheelchair, front row, Dancing with the Stars. What's gonna?
Oh, that's lovely. But what about the 2 months of him? I mean, what are they gonna have him sideline with Harrison, just watching the dates go down? I mean, he needs his daughter's care.
He'd do better than that grip.
Everyone has their own thing with their family, you know?
Yes.
Her dad may have told her to go on this show. You'll remember Adam, who won Survivor Gen X vs. Millennials. He left his mother with cancer, but he did it for her. Won the show, got back an hour before she died.
Oh.
Unbelievable story. Survivor has some of the most human interaction, some of the most fascinating human stories. It's just a wonderful television program. Let's get to the cocktail ceremony.
Sure.
That reminds.
Oh,
me,
she gets. By the way, Sarah gets the rose.
That reminds me of Brett Favre going for 399 yards and 4 touchdowns the Monday night in Oakland after his father died 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a pretty heroic performance. And he did it in jeans. Okay, so Abigail up first in Genius. She comes up with a signal pulling on the ear will let him know that she is, I don't know, there for him.
That's cheating, Abby. I liked you up until that point.
Oh, yeah.
We're all supposed to find out the outcome together.
That disqualifies her from
150%. A few other notes here as I know we're trying to move this along. Matt showed up in an old creepy Porsche. I know that was a producer move. He's never been connected to cars
Was
or
it
anything.
a stick shift?
Who gives a shit?
Matt makes a misstep with this whole signal thing, though. He responds with a signal of his own. This is not good. You shouldn't have volunteered this. What if you miss an ear pull from her? Oh. It was in your periphery. You missed it. You know, now you're on the hook for not acknowledging the signal. You know what I mean?
Or what if your ear itches and all of a sudden she comes running up to you? There's a myriad of ways that could go wrong.
I have a story. I'm sorry. I have to tell it.
We have to wrap up the show.
I will make it under 20 seconds.
I have an ear-tugging story, too.
In 1999, I had sex with a girl I was dating a little bit, and this is at the height of AIDS. You thought you had sex with a girl without a condom, you'd
15.
die. So she starts telling me she's not feeling well. So I'm like, oh, I have AIDS. So I go into one of those free clinics.
Naturally.
I start chatting up the girl who takes the test.
10 seconds.
She says, come back here on Wednesday. I'll give you the results. I said, hey, I'm a little scared about having AIDS all week. I said, when I come in the door, just give me like a little wink at me, and I'll know I don't have AIDS. Then I don't have to be tortured while I'm waiting to get my results from the
3,
test. I show up on Wednesday.
2.
I'm sitting there for an hour. All these people going by. She looks at me. She doesn't give me the wink. For an hour, I'm convinced I have AIDS. I finally get to her. I said, hey, how's my test? She says, you're negative. I said, what the fuck? You didn't wink at me. She said, who are you?
I thought it was going to go the other way.
And you thought he, in the 90s, was diagnosed with AIDS.
And then he gets his test results and he's like, he has AIDS. And he goes, what the fuck? And she's like, oh, I have something in my eye.
But still.
Yeah. And he's still.
In the 90s. He was diagnosed with AIDS.
It was like all really in the moment. So like I understand now.
Yeah.
That'd be. But it seems like people don't die from AIDS anymore.
Yeah. You got your ear pulling story?
Oh, just that me and my partner.
Huh?
Me and my euchre partner Tom in high school, we had signals, and one was for diamonds. We pulled on our ear. It was very juvenile, but it
cheating.
worked, and we won.
That is cheating. So, all right. I loved 21-year-old Kat telling Matt that she's excited to progress in their relationship towards marriage. But the highlight of the evening, or should I say,
low light,
something that happened on the show. Marilyn is duped into a cat's cradle of bullshit. Well, before that, she's duped into thinking that he cares about her. She sits down with him and she says, I was really concerned that you had no idea who I was. And in his head, he thinks, oh, fuck, she got me. But
this is the one I'm giving the orchid to? All right.
No, nope. That's not her. That is not her.
Which one?
Turn, walk.
The one with the yellow dress?
Nope.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
And they actually cut it out of him just like, and he just tried and he was wrong 3 times. Right. Those women got sent home.
Yeah, they cut that out. He goes up to Lauren. Marilyn, you gave me a rose. He goes up to Sarah. Marilyn, what? I told you my father had ALS.
My favorite flower is a lily.
She walks back into the room. Victoria takes a look at her happiness and says, Mary Lynn is toxic. Then she proceeds to call herself an empath. And because she has the ability to feel an abnormally large amount of empathy for human beings, she pulls Matt aside and says this.
Okay, well, I do have, things I want to tell you just because I feel like last time we talked, I kind of, brushed over some things. How I was telling you, it's, really hard in the house. Okay, well, Marilyn was my roommate, and,
Was your roommate?
yeah, and, she just, cries to, manipulate situations, and she's just, straight up toxic. So, I had to sleep on the couch temporarily because having that in the house, it's really hard, and I don't think, you've had that experience, so...
Now, I know we just listened to the clip, but what did she say? Actually, what was the accusation?
Well, she doesn't do a good job about complaining about this. I'll say that.
Whatever she said, she has a innate ability to combine it with a sound of panic and just trail off to confuse these people who are somehow dumber than her.
Well, I don't want to call Matt dumb, but after she's done saying a completely incoherent and dumb thing, he says, well, I got to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Oh, you go right ahead, Matt.
So he pulls Marilyn aside because, as you mentioned, he's got to get to the bottom of this. Her defense is too soft-spoken and earnest, and it invited the Larry David, I think you're lying gaze. You know, he's looking at her like... You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So Marilyn heads back into the room after this scolding from Matt. And this is after Victoria has yelled at the one from Ethiopia for no reason.
I'm a fan.
She asks to sit on the same couch as Victoria. Victoria refuses, moves closer to her, and then they begin speaking about the situation. Now, the issue at hand is seemingly completely manufactured, and these two loonies are talking about it.
Oh, the situation on the show. I thought you were talking about Mike Sorrentino.
No.
Got it.
Last bit with Matt, when he talks to Marilyn, this is truly how weak he is. And this is where, forgive me, single mothers, this is where he could have used the dad to kind of be a man here, because I don't know. It just the way he handles this is you're not seeing Queen Victoria as the fucking crazy fraud. Why are you putting this sad girl through this?
Yeah, exactly.
And
totally weak.
I was also
Plato.
How were the other girls so confused and acting like they didn't know who was in the right here? Usually when someone lies like this, everybody's like, no, it's that one.
Yeah, here. When weighing who's in the wrong here, pick the one who's wasted all the time and being a bitch to everyone for no reason.
That's pretty good way to go about it.
I mean, you may not have a definitive answer, but lean that way.
I'm going to say this about the Queen, too, especially how she acted to Maggie with, no, you sit, I don't want to sit next to you.
Yeah.
She's probably, and we've had a lot of unlikable people on the various reality shows that we recap. She's, I know she's putting it on for the cameras.
Maybe not.
Not sure what she's going for here, but she's pretty awful.
She's a gnat of a human being.
Yeah.
She's annoying. No one's doing her makeup properly.
Yeah.
She looks disheveled at all hours. She's sloppy and mean.
Greasy. She looks very wet.
She's
or
just
greasy.
a super off-putting human being.
That's it.
We got to get to a roll call.
There's no roll call because I'm going to do it next week when we get to do a full roll call.
You know why we didn't have a roll call?
Because some lady fainted.
She locked her knees out.
It's Sarah. Her blood sugar and her dignity are kind of through the floor, so she's feeling a little fainty. TBC, what's going to happen? Did she die?
I hope not.
We don't know, but we'll find out next week.
I'm going to predict she was given a sugar cookie and sits down for 3 minutes.
One of those animal ones with the pink and white frost?
Round.
Okay, got it. They are not. A little too sweet. Anyways, we'll be back next week. Guys, iTunes ratings and reviews.
You guys been sleeping on that.
Jump in there. Help us out. Also, patreon.com/Another Podcast Network if you want to see the video. Listen to Below Deck, APS. Maybe, Bachelor Pat's coming around the corner. We don't know.
Maybe another galley talk.
Little bit of merch. There's a lot of stuff there. We need your guys' support. We love you very much. We'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Bon voyage.
Pat, say goodbye.
Later.